Alright, we are on our way to pick up Thor, our new bagger. Ben over at Mossy Creek Mushrooms, along with Andrew, came up with this bagger. I'm really excited about it. It touts a bag every 6 seconds. I'm currently about a bag every minute with the manual bagger that I have. It's not pneumatic, what I'm currently using. And I'll show that in this video along with Thor, its unpacking, and how it operates. I'm heading over to the shipping company now to pick it up, and I'm hoping it fits in my truck bed. I think it will because it comes in on a pallet, but I'm really excited. Alright, so we are loaded up. Thor is in the back of my truck. It fits exactly on one pallet. And when I spoke to Ben, he said it was designed to be fit through a residential doorway. So anybody picking one of these up, I drive a 2012 Tacoma. It fits in my bed perfectly. I didn't need to rent a trailer, nothing of that sort. It just slid right in. As a matter of fact, the fit is so perfect in my Tacoma, I don't even have any ropes or ratchet straps on it. And all the components that are loose, Ben was kind enough to wrap up real tight. So I'm just going to stay off the highway so the wind doesn't eat away at that wrapping. Doesn't even seem to be moving. Just stay on the residential roads and we'll get it to the house. Just made it home. This is how it's packaged. On a pallet, wrapped nice. Step up here. That's the assembly. Looks like where the water comes out and everything with the knife valves. I'll try to get this down myself. It's about 250 pounds. If not, I'll just get some help. Probably have to, honestly. But that's how it comes packaged, for anyone wondering. Alright, with the help of a friend, it really was as simple as just flipping it right side up. Thor was about 250 pounds. We were able to just slide it right off the truck and then slowly tilt it up. Once it's up, you could put one person on each side very easily to maneuver this thing. It's very short. I'm 5'4". I'm a short dude, and I can muscle this thing very easily. And the best part, because it's a short bagger, I need no ladder or anything, and it's wide. I could just throw a bag up there, cut it, and let it spill into the hopper. Beautifully done. It operates through, I don't know if you can see it in the bottom, I have a pancake compressor. So this bagger is actually pneumatic. You push the pedal and it dumps everything at once. They claim a bag every 6 seconds, and that's because you're waiting on the float valve to fill up this bucket. But honestly, it's faster. It's more like every 3 seconds. I could put a bag out onto a table faster than my partner can bag it. I actually had to slow down. But we were able to do 60 blocks, and well, that's a quick run for us. We were able to do 60 blocks in about 15 minutes. That's pretty wild. Something to note about this pedal. It's press and hold until everything completely falls, and then you let go. In the hopper are little doors that are operated by your compressor when you push this. They're in the open position. When you push and hold, the hopper closes that door and everything inside falls. And you continue to hold because once you let go, the doors inside open and refill. Assembling Thor is very simple. It didn't come with instructions and I was able to figure it out. This front wooden piece, this plate, this cover plate, it just comes off. You take that off and there'll be one more smaller plate here. You remove that also. Your entire bucket assembly just slides in there, and we'll get a side view so you can see it. It's a bucket with a pipe that comes down with the knife valves. It curves to a 90 into the main pipe where you wrap your bag around and where everything dumps out, alright? And here's an underside view. That's where the water comes out and all the pellets fall around it. Once you get that in place, there's a series of air lines. Don't let this scare you. Just keep them all in the open position. And he's numbered them. I'm going to try to get a view of this. See how he marked 2 dashes on that? There's also 2 dashes on the brass, if we could focus it. There. So you just match the 2 to the 2. There's another one for 1, 3, 4. And he connected all these air lines to this, so you could open and close them. So after you're done bagging, if you want to empty out your water, for instance, you're going to shut off your solids. You want no solids, right? So you would shut this off like so. If you want no water, and if you want to empty the water, you would shut that one. That just means it denies air going through specific lines, so you could accomplish different things. Can it fit through a residential door like they say? Absolutely. You probably just got to take off the water assembly and front plate. Here's a close-up view of the pedal. The air lines just push right in. Actually, it was pre-connected when I got it. This is where your air compressor goes. Uses a quick connect. Very simple. Now, Thor is designed for pellets. And in case you were wondering, soy hull pellets on the left, hardwood fuel pellets on the right. And if you can't remember, write it down. Here's an example of an air compressor you would need. This is called a pancake air compressor, and I bought this one specifically for this bagger because I didn't own one. This particular model, and most don't, they don't come with an air hose. I had to buy an air hose, and I also recommend buying one of these kits. It comes with various quick connect fittings and some plumber's tape so you don't have any air leaks in your fittings. And hey, worst case scenario, you got all this stuff to pump a tire. When I spoke to Ben, he said he recommended pumping this at 100 psi. Here on your tank, you can see when you plug it in, this is your tank pressure. This will build up. And this here controls the outlet pressure. Just turn this till it gets to 100 psi and leave it alone. You're good to go. Ooh, no ladders! Now, I've already done 60 blocks with this bagger, and it took only about 30 minutes, but I want to show you how it works. First thing you'll notice is this pipe is rather short. I talked to Ben at Mossy Creek. He said he prefers it. He scrunches up the bag a bunch like this to try to keep all the material off the sides of the bag. But I could tell I'm definitely going to be putting an extension like he recommends. And honestly, just another piece of metal pipe with some duct tape will work. Let it rip! Wow. Perfect. What you will notice though, I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's definitely some material on the sides. And we found that to be consistent through all 60 blocks that we did with the bagger. Not too big of an issue once we get a longer pipe on here. Now let's see how good Ben did here. I ordered this to make 10-pound blocks. Just about perfect. When we took the average of all the weights we did over the 60 blocks last night, they range anywhere from 10 to 10.7. That's good enough. Something else I noticed with the bagger is as the door opens and closes, it spits out some pellets onto the ground. And after the 60 blocks we did on the first night, there was probably about 3 or 4 bags worth of soy hull and hardwood fuel pellets on the ground. I asked Ben about this. He says that's actually how it functions to prevent the doors from jamming. The workaround that Ben and Andrew came up with that he recommended was to put a bin on the bottom with some sort of grating, so as you're bagging and all the pellets fall, they fall through the grating into like a bin or Sterilite container, something like that. And then they end up getting that bin with the excess material that fell, and they throw it into the compartment on the left where the soy hull is. In the end, that'll dilute your soy hulls in every bag, but honestly, people put too much stock into having the perfect amount of substrate in each bag anyways. It's not as perfect of a science as people make it claim, and I think they put too much stock into it. You have some hardwood fuel pellets and a little less soy hulls for a few bags as you dump that in. Oh well, you won't notice the difference in the grow room. Now keep in mind, Ben did tell me on the phone that they're having updates to this bagger. I got an older one, but in future iterations, once he's done building Andrew's new grow room, he's going to find a workaround so that doesn't happen at all. So it's really a non-issue for future baggers and a non-issue for me because I'm just going to do what they do on their farm, and their farm's way bigger than mine. Although I would recommend two things: a cup holder and a Bluetooth speaker. But even if they put that, it's so fast I probably wouldn't get through an entire album or an entire beer. So is Thor worth the money? I think so. Definitely for me. It cut a 2-hour process down to about 30 minutes. And at a cost of $1,750, how can you beat it? It's not pretty, doesn't have to be. Function over form. That is really all that matters. Would I love an Eric Myers bagger that's worth $8,000 made of steel? Of course! I can't afford that as a small farm currently. Maybe one day, maybe Thor will help me afford that bagger. But until then, Thor is the bagger that the small commercial farmer actually needs. And the more you do this, the more you realize how valuable your time is. Processes can't take 3 or 4 hours, especially if you have a family. And hey, Thor isn't perfect. It's got a couple flaws that I mentioned, but there are easy workarounds and it doesn't take away from the simplicity of the bagger. I needed to start another video so not only I could brag about my very uniform lion's mane coming in, wow, but I also totally forgot to talk about shipping. You have to handle the shipping on your own to get the bagger to you. They recommend using Central Freight Lines, and I had a good experience with them. To get from Tennessee to Tampa, Florida was $233, and that's shipped to the terminal. If you live in a residential area, you're going to need a truck with a lift on it, a lift gate, and then you'll be able to do it, but it'll probably be double the price. So if you have a pickup truck like I do or know someone with one, definitely ship it to the terminal to save yourself some money. You're going to be required to print a bill of, I believe it's bill of lading or bill of lading, I don't know. But you're going to have to print the bill of lading for Mossy Creek and fill it out. It's not hard. It's on Central Freight Line's site in one of the drop downs at the top. You just put your address, their address. I didn't even, and the price and the confirmation number. I didn't even have to pay until I got to the terminal. And I just emailed Ben the bill of lading, and that was it. He filled in the description of the item. He had a package. When they show up, he just gave that to them, and off they went. Also, when you talk to Central Freight Lines and you're setting up your shipping, the classification code for the bagger is going to be 125, 125.